Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Favorite Live Album by Year. Of course, this is the month of September. 30 days, 30 years of live albums. We started at 1968. We're going all the way to 1998. We are at 1986. All right. Every day I'm picking a favorite live album released in that year. That's the key. Released in this particular year. They could be recorded any other year. We're going by year of release. So I'm picking a favorite live album each and every day and a runner-up. So today, 1986, again, as we're seeing as the 80s progress, not as many live albums coming out. We're starting to see less live albums from existing bands at the moment and more of the archival stuff starting to get released. And that's going to continue into the 90s. So in this particular year, I had a few choices. I had a couple really good archival live releases by bands I really like. A couple live albums released by, contemporary artists of the time. One particular by a guitar player that I dig quite a bit, although the live album is not great. And I wanted to pick it, but I was like, I like some of these other ones better. So what I've got one archival here, and my runner-up is actually was released then of a band, current at the time. So my winner was released February 1986, recorded June 18th, 1967. All right, released originally on the Reprise label. I've got the reissue of this, recorded at the Monterey Pop Festival in Monterey, California. Of course, we know it's Jimi Plays Monterey, or as the reissue is titled, the Jimi Hendrix Experience Live at Monterey. Okay, it's basically the exact same thing, right? Just a reissue of it later on. This is the inside here. Very cool stuff. Again, this is the star-making performance of Jimi and the Experience. All right, coming back from England, playing the Monterey Pop Festival, basically blowing everybody away, and just the most talked about band of the entire Monterey Festival. So starting off, of course, you got Brian Jones introducing him. Brian Jones from the Stones, Killing Floor, Foxy Lady, Like a Rolling Stone, right? Because, of course, he would occasionally pick Bob Dylan songs and do them in his own style, right? Very successfully, I might add. Rock Me Baby, you got Hey Joe, Can You See Me, a very emotional The Wind Cries Mary, Purple Haze, which is, all sorts of raucous and loud and violent, right, as Purple Haze should be. It's the height of psychedelia here. And then, of course, the finale, Wild Thing, right, a remake of the Troggs classic with, of course, Jimi bashing his guitar and lighting it on fire and gyrating in front of it. I mean, it's an iconic rock and roll moment that will forever go down in history as the career-defining moment for Jimi Hendrix and the Experience. Of course, there would be other moments, right? But this is the one, this young, brash, black guy from Seattle playing a guitar left-handed like nobody else, doing crazy things, a very sexual act, a very loud act, utilizing feedback and whammy bar and distortion, and just, doing things that nobody had done before. Blending, funk and R&B and blues and psychedelia and heavy rock, all this stuff kind of colliding together. Jimi became, the guitar player. So, it's funny how you look back in rock and roll history about those guitar players who kind of, really changed the way we look at guitar. And I think Jimi, especially on the rock side, Jimi was the first guy who really, really kind of threw everything out the window, reinvented things. And then, of course, you had a guy named Edward Van Halen come, about a decade later, right? But, Jimi and the Experience at Monterey is my pick for today from 1986, released in 1986, recorded, obviously, about a decade prior. So my runner-up, again, this was hard. I had a couple of them that I was really looking at here, but ultimately came down to, I think this is a really fine live album that doesn't get talked enough because I think this band has an earlier live album, much earlier, in the early 70s, which is, considered their ultimate live recording, live statement. I would probably agree with that. However, I think this one is quite good too, and I really like this era of the band. So this one was recorded December 4th, 1985, released the following year in 86 on the GWR label, recorded at the Hammersmith Odeon in London. I'm talking about Hawkwind Live Chronicles. I like the 80s era of Hawkwind. Pretty cool. Little more metallic, right? Little, maybe not quite as just out there and spacey as the 70s stuff, but still pretty spacey, but a little more kind of in time with what's going on in the 80s. This is just chock full of great stuff on here. And of course, this was the lineup at the time. What do we got here? Hold on a second. So, of course, we got Dave Brock on guitars, keyboards, and vocals. Hugh Lord Langton on electric guitar vocals. Harvey Bainbridge on keyboards and vocals. Alan Davey on bass and vocals. And Danny Thompson on drums, along with Mr. Michael Moorcock, because you got to have Michael Moorcock at the show, right, when you're doing the whole Chronicles thing, because he wrote most of the lyrics for that. And a few other folks doing, and doing mime and dancing and all that sort of thing. But, yeah, really cool stuff. A lot of great things on here. You got the Chronicles of the Black Sword, of course. You got that. That's the album, right, that this is all about. Song of the Swords, Dragons and Fables, Sea King, Dead God's Homecoming, Angels of Death, Shade Gate, Rocky Paths. You've got The Pulsing Cavern, Master of the Universe. Then we're going to start to see some of the Hawkwind classics. All sorts of Assault and Battery, Lords of Chaos, The Dark Lords, all sorts of stuff. And this this CD reissue has, of course, 2 full discs full of performances. I believe the original LP, the original version had 24 songs altogether. But yeah, great stuff on here. A lot of good bonus tracks on this CD reissue. Just killer stuff. I like this era of the band quite a bit. Pretty cool album cover there, right? So yeah, there you have it. Jimi Hendrix at Monterey, my number 1. Hawkwind Live Chronicles, both really good. Other good ones, like I said, there's other good ones. There's a Uriah Heep live archival thing that came out this year. Of course, the Stevie Ray Vaughan, that's what I was hinting at before, which, I like, but I think that's not like his best live recording. I prefer to listen to these, actually. So there you have it. So list your favorite live album from 1986. I know some of you have been saying, hey, there's kind of slim pickings as we're getting into the 80s. That is absolutely true. But there are some really good ones. A lot of jazz stuff. Still, it's amazing how many jazz acts and recording artists would constantly, throughout all these years we're covering, would constantly and consistently release live albums. So that is the case. So if you're a big jazz fan, obviously there are some really cool jazz things out there. But and there was also the Bruce Springsteen. I was the 75 to 85. I almost picked over the Hawkwind because I really like that live Bruce set. That's, I think, some of the best live recordings from Springsteen and the E Street Band. But I decided to go with Hawkwind. So there you have it. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. See you tomorrow morning as we move into 1987. All right, we got a little over a week and a half left in the month, so we'll finish it out. And then I have a couple of ideas of what I'm going to be doing in October. However, I think I'm leaning on doing something that's kind of Halloween related. I know for a lot of you who watch who are not in North America, who just don't understand us Americans and our interest and how into we get about Halloween and spooky stuff and all that. It is what it is. We love Halloween. We love the season. It's just, and I'm kind of a guy who likes Halloween type stuff all year round. I love, obviously I have the Monsters Den show. That I love horror movies all the damn time, not just in Halloween, but it gets extra special in the month of October. So I'm going to tie in somehow. I'm still fine tuning it. The month of Halloween, the month of October, each and every day is going to be kind of a music, kind of spooky theme or spooky kind of music tie-in. Each day I'm going to give you a different pick. It's going to be album centered, I believe. So to be determined still. I've got a little over a week to kind of fine tune it and figure it out, but I think it'll be fun. So stay tuned for that. A lot more here on the channel. Of course, we've got tomorrow night, the Hudson Valley Squares talking about our favorite rock and roll films. Tuesday in the Prague seat, we're going to visit 1974. We're going to talk about our favorite prog and fusion albums from 1974. Wednesday is What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility Day. Should have 1 or 2 or 3 new album reviews for you. Thursday, the Monsters Den once again, where we will be talking about our favorite TV horror films, right? A lot of really good horror films that were made for TV movies. So we'll be kind of pulling out some of our favorites. And then Friday morning at the Funhouse, Martin Popoff and I will be revisiting Part 2 of our look at those hired guns. We'll be moving on to bass players and vocalists this time around, so stay tuned for that and a whole lot more. And of course, Sunday, album homework assignment, Rich Catino, Jamie Laszlo going head-to-head. You do not want to miss that one. So lots happening here on the channel, and I think we've got a couple of the ranking shows too, because I know Simon Bray and Stephen Reed are coming back to co-host with me to do some of those cool shows. So that's happening as well, my UK connection. So thanks for watching, everybody. See you real soon. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content. We've got the link to our Ko-Fi page below as well. If you want to make a channel donation, all of your donations are greatly appreciated. Help us kind of buy more stuff to talk about here on the channel. And the link to seatranquility.org, our webzine with 22,000 reviews, which has been on the internet for 20 years this year. It's our 20th anniversary. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you tomorrow. I am Pete Pardo. Bye-bye.